What if I told you that they are secretly checking on you? They stalk your social media, they reread your old conversations, and they keep thinking that they shouldn't have left, that they want to come back. Just imagine this for a moment and tell me, how are you feeling? That exact feeling you're experiencing right now is the key to unlocking your desire. But here's the thing, there isn't just one door you need to unlock. There are many. And the solution is using the same key again and again. In simple words, I'm telling you to feel this exact feeling so deeply, so consistently, that it starts to feel natural. You reach a point where it almost becomes boring. And that's exactly when you get what you want. It really is that simple. If you want this world to love you, respect you, and shower you with amazing things, then right now just feel what you would feel if it were already true. But I know many of you might feel skeptical. Your logical mind wants proof. It wants evidence. And that's completely fine. Give me a few minutes and I'll take you deeper into this. By the end, you'll truly understand how this works. I am deeply inspired by the teachings of Neville Goddard. I have personally seen this law work, and I want it to work for you too. Neville Goddard says, assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Now really sit with this. He's saying that your assumption, whether it is true right now or not, does not matter. What matters is your persistence in it. This idea alone is powerful enough to change your entire life, because most people have been taught to believe that reality is fixed, that what they see right now is the ultimate truth. But Neville challenges that completely. He says that what you see right now is not the truth. It is just the result of what you previously believed to be true. So if your current reality is showing you distance, silence, or absence, it is not final. It is simply a reflection of your past assumptions. And if those assumptions created this, then new assumptions can create something completely different. This is where your power lies, not in controlling the outer world, but in choosing your inner state, because your inner state is what shapes everything. So when you start assuming that they are checking on you, something begins to shift. At first, it might feel unnatural. It might feel like you are pretending. Your mind might bring up doubts, reminding you of everything that contradicts this idea. And that's okay. That's part of the process. You are not trying to fight your mind. You are simply choosing not to agree with it. Instead, you gently return to the feeling. They are thinking about me. They are checking on me. They are drawn to me. And you stay there. Not perfectly, but consistently. Because consistency is what creates belief. And belief is what creates reality. Most people think they need to believe first. But Neville teaches that belief is the result of persistence. You don't wait to believe. You persist until you believe. And once you believe, it feels natural. And once it feels natural, it manifests. This is why the feeling is so important. Because feeling is what makes it real to you. And what is real to you becomes real in your world. So when you felt that emotion at the beginning of this video, that subtle sense of being wanted, remembered, chosen, that was not random, that was you stepping into the state of your wish fulfilled. And your only job is to return to that state again and again. Not just when you feel like it, but especially when you don't. Because those are the moments that matter the most. When your reality shows you nothing, when your phone is silent, when there is no movement, that is when your persistence is tested. Do you go back to doubt, or do you stay loyal to your assumption? Because the moment you stay loyal, you break the old pattern. You stop feeding the old story, and you start strengthening the new one. And slowly, that new story becomes dominant. It becomes your default way of thinking. You no longer have to remind yourself constantly. It just feels obvious. Of course they think about you. Of course they check on you. Of course they feel something for you. It stops being a technique and becomes your identity. And this is where everything changes. Because you are no longer trying to manifest something. You are expressing who you are. You are embodying the version of yourself for whom this is normal. And reality has no choice but to reflect that. Because reality is not separate from you. It is responding to you, to your assumptions, your feelings, your inner conversations. This is why Neville placed so much emphasis on inner dialogue. Because what you repeatedly tell yourself becomes your truth. So if your inner dialogue is filled with doubt, fear, and questioning, that is what will continue to play out. But if your inner dialogue shifts to certainty, calmness, and knowing, your reality will follow. Not instantly, but inevitably. There is a difference. Instant results are not the goal. Natural results are, because when something feels natural, it lasts. It stabilizes. It becomes a part of your life without effort. And that is what you are building here. A natural state. A stable assumption. A quiet knowing. And once you reach that state, you will notice something very important. You will stop chasing. You will stop checking. You will stop asking, when will it happen? Because in your mind, it already has. And when that happens, you enter a state of detachment, but not detachment from your desire, detachment from the neediness around it. You still want it, but you are no longer desperate for it. You are no longer depending on it to feel okay. You already feel okay. You already feel complete. And from that place, manifestation becomes effortless because you are no longer creating from lack. You are creating from fulfillment, and fulfillment is powerful because it carries no resistance. It carries no doubt. It simply exists. So when you exist in the feeling of being someone who is constantly on their mind, reality aligns with that. Not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. This is why trying too hard often slows things down. Because trying comes from the assumption that you don't have it yet, and that assumption gets reflected back. So instead of trying, you assume. Instead of forcing, you feel. Instead of chasing, you become. And this shift changes everything. Now, let's go a little deeper. Why does persistence matter so much? Because your subconscious mind learns through repetition. It accepts what you repeatedly impress upon it. So if you keep returning to the same feeling, the same assumption, the same inner knowing, it begins to accept it as truth. And once it accepts it, it starts projecting it outward, effortlessly, automatically, without you needing to figure out the how. Because the how is not your job. Your only job is the assumption. The moment you start asking, how will this happen? You move out of the state. You go back into doubt. And doubt delays the process. Not because it stops it completely, but because it weakens your persistence. So instead of focusing on the how, return to the feeling, return to the knowing, return to the assumption, again and again, until it becomes who you are. And when it becomes who you are, it becomes your reality. This is not about doing more. This is about being different, thinking differently, feeling differently, assuming differently. Because the version of you who already has what you want thinks in a certain way, feels in a certain way, moves in a certain way. And when you align with that version, you naturally receive what that version experiences. So right now, you have a choice. You can continue reacting to your current reality, or you can start creating a new one. You can keep checking for signs, or you can become the sign. You can keep questioning, or you can start knowing. And that choice determines everything. So if you truly want them to check on you, don't wait for confirmation. Don't wait for proof. Assume that it is already happening. Feel it. Return to it. Live in it. Persist in it until it feels so normal, so obvious, so natural that you no longer question it. And when you reach that point, you won't be wondering anymore. You won't be doubting anymore. You won't be searching anymore. Because in your mind, it is already done. And when it is done within, it must be done without. That is the law. That is the process. That is the truth. Your assumption, if persisted in, will harden into fact every single time. I hope this helped you. Subscribe, and I'll meet you with another golden nugget soon. Happy manifesting.